Hi, everyone. So in the next 15 minutes, I'm gonna dive into the world of how to use AI to maximize creative value. My name is Krysler. I'm a senior product marketing manager at AppsFlyer. We're a marketing platform, provides analytics, engagement, measurement, and fraud prevention technologies. We're a global company all over the world. So in the last few years, user acquisition strategies have changed a lot, with the introduce of new automation and new algorithms, but creatives always remain the #1 lever for creating success for a campaign. Now, I'll start with a poll, and I'll ask you, what do you think is the percentage of contribution a creative has for an ad success? All right, so most of you said 71%. 22 people said 49%. And yeah, the correct number is actually 49%. So a Nielsen research found that creative has a 49% impact on an ad success. So it means that it's not just about finding the right personas or bid strategy. It's about creating visuals and messaging that truly resonate with our audience and encourage them to take an action. So in the last few years, and still going on, most of you probably know that the rules around privacy and data are changing all the time. And we have fewer down funnel signals, which causes us marketers to shift our strategy and focus on more upper funnel metrics. So focus more on the design and the user experience and the messaging, and which means that our creatives have a real chance to stand out for the crowd. And I know that's not an easy task. So how can we find these creative winners? The winner is not just a minor improvement over other creatives. It's a real game changer. It could be 10 or even 100 times better than any other creatives that we had before. And that's not just in performance, but we will also see great return on investment, and it will be scalable. However, usually our marketing budget, we will see a handful of creatives eating 80–90% of the budget, while the others just remain unnoticed. And you can see two different verticals here, which have pretty much the same distribution of focus on just a few creatives that eat almost all of the budget. So how can we find these creative winners? It's not an easy task, and we will have dozens of different promising but losing concepts before we find one. The easiest thing is to look at the scale. So when we will look at our data, we will see a creative that eats most of the impressions, the budget, the share of cost of a given campaign or an ad group. Then we go into performance. So it's not just about being seen, but also making sure it counts. So where do we see a difference in retention, in LTV, in ROAS? Do we actually see the performance rise from these creatives that we're looking at? And lastly, there is a difference between our testing environment or a small scale environment to large scale. So we need to take our potentially winning creatives and see how they perform in a larger scale environment, and how do they compete with the winners that we currently have? A winning ad creative, it combines volume and performance. And once we find these winning creatives, let's see how we can squeeze that lemon a little more from each creative that we find. Start by looking at media expansion. So ask yourself, is this winner used across the board? You can test the scalability by increasing ad spend and expanding to other networks, other platforms or countries, and making sure it maintains a high performance at all times. When we look at the context, we should ask ourselves, is this context universal, or do we have specific limitations that we need to change when we go into new geos or new segments? And usually when we have new creatives, we want to test them right away to see if they work or not. And then we always have to align them with our brand and with our messaging, keep polishing them. Now, the first iteration it's rarely the final one. So we have to continuously polish them and find the exact message and visual that also works with our brand. Sometimes this winner can be applied as is, and sometimes we have to do some localization changes or formats, the size and the ratio of our creatives, so it will apply in other places as well. And we're not finished. Go even deeper into the creatives and start looking at past winners. Try to find common traits or strategies that worked in the past and maybe you can use today, and try to find something that looks similar in all of these winning creatives. Looking at the numbers is super important so we can understand why each creative did well. Was it the hook rate that caught their attention? Was it the whole rate that kept them engaged? And just a small tip around this this topic, giving a right name convention will make the process much easier when we go back into our creatives and try to find common traits. Then that will be very helpful. And now we want to start isolating our best performing elements and create different variations of elements that seem to work, different colors, different backgrounds, different endings, and trying to pinpoint in that way which element contributes most to an ad success. And now the interesting part, it's our AI. So AI changes everything for everyone, and also in creatives, of course. And every business is now considering how they can use AI to make their business better. And none of us want to be left behind. So we all familiar with ChatGPT and Midjourney, but the number of marketing AI technologies out there, it's exploding. And AI can help us really squeeze that lemon above any human optimization abilities. I want to focus specifically on video creatives, since that's the biggest ad group that that we see is going to be about a third of all mobile ad spend in the US next year. I'm not a tech person, as I said, so this will be a very easy explanation. AI in creatives use two different things: computer vision and natural language processing, which is NLP. So this means that the algorithms, they use computer vision to see a photo or a video. They break down an image into different pieces, and it looks for patterns and shapes and colors. For example, they can it can recognize a cat by recognizing the shapes and the feature. And the NLP is the language side of things, which helps understand human language. So am I using a command or am I asking a question when I speak? And these technologies open a door to explore what really moves the needle in our creatives. The first layer of creative could be breaking down into scenes. So we have the opening scene, user-generated content scene, animated last. And each one of these allows us to understand the impact of an individual scene on the performance of a creative. The next layer is breaking down into elements. So as you can see here, this is an ad for a car race, and it detects the car, the person, a building, and pretty much any element in this ad is recognized by AI. And if you work with an MMP, you're able to combine each scene or each element with actual performance data. And the combination of these two can help create winners and optimize them in a completely different level. Ultimately, AI can identify and label creative elements, so we'll understand what makes them effective. And it could also generate numerous variations automatically, so it's saving us a lot of manual work. And it suggests us combinations that we would probably never think of on our own. And most of us have many hundreds of variations running to test. And taking these 2 points together, AI can analyze past data and through that predict which variations are most likely to succeed. So you don't have to test randomly anymore. You can just look at the data and fine-tune your creatives strategies with the data. But of course, no winner wins forever. And we want to do 3 things against deterioration. So first of all is look for creative fatigue. Look at the metrics, CTR, IPM. Usually we will see it's reaching a peak before it starts to gradually decline. We want to create variants, iterations of our winning creative, not necessarily to replace them, but just to breathe new lives into it. And we want to always be testing, always bringing new concepts, new ideas. So once our creative winners stop winning, we will already have enough concepts and creatives in the pipeline. That is it. Thank you. If you have any questions, one of the questions here is, what are the benefits of using AI in creative optimization compared to manual methods? So AI in creative, it's like having a super powered assistant for creative optimization. So it can generate tons of different variations in obviously faster than humans and at a much lower cost. And it also dives really deep into data. So it looks at the historic data and then can predict what might be successful in the future. And that will save us a lot of guesswork, a lot of time that we're wasting on testing more creatives. And yeah, it makes our life much easier.
Eddie, thank you so much. Great presentation. Love the color scheme, and look at really, you know, very grateful to have you here with us today. Have a great evening. Thank you so much.